Do you know you don't have to be competitive to match as non-US IMG? All you need is to understand the concept of program fit. So in today's video, I'm going to explain to you what is program fit, when should I apply the strategy, and what are the types of strategies that related to the program fit that will increase the chance of you matching. And then we're going to talk about how we can apply this program fit, into our approach to match, like the practical applications of it. So there's going to be a lot of things to unpack today, and I would hope that you watch the video from the beginning to the end, because this is very, very important, because at the end of this video, you will increase your chance of matching, right? So let's talk about the first one. What is program fit? Well, it's very simple. Program fit is basically when an applicant, their values, their experience, their goals, right, align with the program's missions and values and curriculum and all of those. When those aligns and they overlap, we call that a fit. And then when the program fit happens, then the chances are you'll be ranked high and you're going to match. As simple as that. Now, I figured that a lot of you kind of like already have an idea of what's the program fit. Some of you don't. Some of you already know about it. Okay. But I found that a lot of people does not really understand, and to the point that they kind of know it, but they don't actually apply the concept of program fit in approaching the match. So I want to really talk about that, because this is very, very important. First of all, for something very, very simple, when should you apply the strategy of the program fit? Well, usually when it's approaching the match season, where you write the personal statement, preparing your ERAS CV, and the interview. That is the time when you try to apply the concept of program fit, because before that, like the USMLE and the research and the rotations, most of the time is going to be very, very general. You don't have to kind of like fit in or try to find the programs that fit you, etc. You get what I mean? Usually it's going to be between those three, like personal statement, ERAS CV, and the interview. Now, there are actually two ways to approach the match. Okay? I'm going to call it the strategy number one, strategy number two, because I didn't actually put a name on it. So, in strategy number one, what you do with this strategy is going to increase your chance of matching, which is obviously what you're trying to do. Like, there's a reason why you watch this video today, because you want to increase your chance of matching, right? So in this strategy number one, what you do is you're going to try to adapt, mold yourself, compromise, do everything that you can so you can fit into the programs. And then you're going to try to make the program sees you as the ideal candidate and sees you as the right fit. That is strategy number one. It seems like this is going to be the thing that you want to do, right? I want to increase my chance of matching. But let's stop there. Okay, I want to tell you about strategy number two, because in my opinion, strategy number two is actually the more ideal strategy in the ideal world. Okay, the strategy number two will actually decrease the chance of you matching. Yes, strategy number two will do that. And you might be wondering, why would anyone actually going to do that, right? Well, of course, there is some benefit of doing the strategy number two. So in this strategy, you're trying to find the program that serves your needs. That's the strategy number two. You try to find a program that will serve your needs. You're looking for a program that will get into your goal, or like the one that fits to you. So you are the focus on the strategy number two. So this way, it will actually decrease the likelihood of matching, because you're just going to present the way you are, right? This is what I'm looking for. I want to find the best program that will help me to achieve my goals. This approach, actually a common approach that is being done by AMGs, the American graduates. Yes, the American graduates do this approach, and the reason is because their chance of matching is just so high, especially if they're trying to match to non-competitive specialties like internal medicine. Let's say they want to become a hematology oncologist, right? And of course, they have to match to internal medicine first. And then, in order to serve their needs, they're going to find a program that would fit and serve their needs. they come first. The reason is because the chance of matching is already so high, then they can have the luxury to pick and choose, you see? So in the most ideal world, this is actually what you want to do. And as non-US IMG, you can actually do the same thing. If you are a very competitive applicant, right? Let's say you have graduated from prestigious university from your home country, and then you did those research fellowships for a year. You publish, I don't know, 50, 100 publications, right? And maybe 10 of them you are a first author. They're being published by the high-end tier journal. You get the 6 months of USC on this prestigious university, inpatient, hands-on sub-internship. You got 4 letters of recommendations from a high-renowned faculty, and they just can't stop raving about you. And your STEP 2 CK score is 260, 270. Okay? And you did all these leadership skills like organizing these NGO events and all of those, and you are maybe a champion of table tennis or cricket or whatever. Okay, you are around, you're a superstar, right? Anybody would want you, so you can have the luxury to choose. And in the ideal situations, in the ideal world, I would have to recommend that you actually do strategy number 2. You have to prepare ahead, right? You want to be as competitive applicant as possible, right? Do those research, do those volunteer, get the higher score as possible, do those 6 months of rotations, get a really great, a strong letter of recommendations and all of those. And now you have your goals, you have your aspirations, you have your missions in life, your passions in some kind of, specific specialty that you want to do. And then you want to find the best program possible that will bring you into your most highest potential, right? That is actually the most ideal. That is actually the right thing to do. Here comes the reality, right? The reality, not a lot of us are like that. Most of us are just average, right? We're just normal applicants, normal candidate. Most of us as a non-US IMG has a financial difficulty, and we can't just get any of those rotations. We can't do those fellowships. It's hard for us to, some people have the connection, some people have to find their own way and doesn't have a really good mentor. Most of us are not these top 1 percentile and all these things. And guess what? I'm not one of them. I'm just a regular guy. Like, I'm just the normal, usual non-US IMG, just like most likely you who are watching right now, right? But I have some advantage in my score, right? I have 258 in step 1, 261 in step 2 CK, right? But that's about it. I only got like 2 rotations in USCE, 1 month of inpatient, and I only got 2 letter of recommendations on US-based doctors. I got no research. The research that I did was back in my medical school. I got nothing much. Nothing much. So I'm pretty standard on top, other than my scores. And then if you go to LinkedIn, how many people actually scored above me? Like if you go to YouTube, like all those superstar and a YouTuber, how many people actually get the 270? It's 258, 260. It feels like normal. And then you go to LinkedIn, a lot of people boasting about their scores, and guess what? They're actually still above average. And then, but you make you feel small because, oh, my score is only 230 or 240, and then you feel that way, right? And most of us are like that. Most of us are like that. So when that happens, then you will try to think, what is the strategy that would make sense to you? And in that case, if you are not that competitive applicant, guess what? You can still match. You can still match. And in fact, most of my students who study under me, whether that's USMLE years ago or did the rotations with me, they're all able to match. They're all able to match. And they're just average, just like me. I mean, they're not like superstar, yes, some have a higher score, but most of them are just a regular score, like 230, 240, and they are all still able to match. And I want to boast this because I still can. Last year, all my students who rotate with me match. And they got maybe like 2 3 interviews, not a lot of interviews, but they match. They all match. And one of the reasons is because during my rotations, I believe that my core offer to them when I teach them is not about those credentials. It's not about that. It's all about to help them become the person that people want to work with, become the physicians, the doctor that people want to work with. That is basically the thing. Can I tell you a little secret? You are not any less of a doctor compared to those who have higher credentials than you. You are not any less of a doctor compared to those people who has a much higher credentials than you. They might have done 50 research projects, like USMA step to CK score of 270, right? Graduate from prestigious university, hospital, and maybe some fellowships and do maybe the fellowships is like from a very renowned best university all the whole world, and then they boasting about, hey, this is my academic excellence, this is my credentials and all those, and then make you feel bad, right? I want you to please stop thinking that way, and I don't want you to let anyone to tell you otherwise. You matter. It doesn't make you any less of a doctor, because what's the important thing? The important thing is here, your heart to serve. If you have the sincere heart to serve and help people, that's all that matters. Those credentials mean nothing. You are not much less of a doctor compared to those who have higher credentials or academic excellence than you. So you also deserve to match. So now we have talked about these two types of strategy, and you want to find which strategy that serves your needs. So you understand that now. Now here is the thing. Even though you understand the concept, okay, there are still people who doesn't understand how to apply those strategy and not aware about that. This is actually what inspired the creation of this video. There is a LinkedIn post, and then there's a comment on that post, and that's kind of inspired me to create this video. The post is all about the personal statement, basically saying that, well, if you tell that you lost your grandparents, whatever, and then that becomes your inspirations to come to the US and then become a doctor, you know, a lot of times that can come across as fake and not honest. And if you want to come to the US because you want to become the best doctor possible, just say it. You don't have to make it so dramatic by saying that it's your parent or somebody that actually passed away, then that would come across as a fake. So the comment that's saying that, well, I respectfully disagree. And then she basically said that I lost one of my grandparents, and then that's very meaningful for me, and it's very hard to bring that up. You know, it takes a lot of courage to bring that, and it's honest, and I would need to bring that. Now, here's the thing. Without realizing, okay, this lady is trying to approach the match using strategy number 2 instead of strategy number 1. Look, the idea here is that there's a lot of people using that pretty similar stories in the personal statement and during the interview as well. And then eventually it becomes less and less unique and become less impactful from the interviewer perspective. I feel, in my opinion, that is the issue. It's not trying to dismiss or reduce the seriousness or the impact of you losing your loved ones and how it impacts your future and your decisions to become a doctor. It's not trying to belittling or dismissing the situation in any way. It's just that it's not as impactful anymore. So if you stay true to this, it's okay, but that's going to be the strategy number 2. You just come across the way you are, you focus on yourself. This is me, who wants to take me? In the strategy number 1, you want to fit into a program. So that means you want to look what are the things that the program directors or the program's looking for, and let me give you that. So here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. This is kind of like selling, right? Kind of like business. You're trying to sell yourself in a positive way, of course. Now, wherever somebody is actually trying to sell, whether that's a product, whether that's service or whatever, there's one common mistake that the beginner make. If you're a business person, you know the idea, but a lot of non-US IMG, of course, is not businessmen or businesswoman, because they're focused so much on studying and then during the eras and all those, so they sometimes don't understand this concept very, very well. So this is what happened. This is a very, very beginner mistake. When someone trying to sell something, they try to think of whether that's a product, whether that's a service. They try to think, oh, what are the things that I want to make? What are the things that I love and I want to create? Okay. And then you try to think, oh, this is going to be something that is cool and valuable, right? Then they create that and then they sell it to people. And guess what? Nobody's buying. Because the market doesn't see it as valuable as you thought it would. So I can give you an example. Let's say I'm going to sell you a course, and this course is about how you can be really good writing your notes as an intern, right? Your notes would be accurate. Your colleagues will understand your notes really well. You're not going to receive those queries that asking to correct your notes every single time. Okay. And then we're going to do multiple notes, maybe 10, 15 notes. Okay? And I'm going to give you a feedback and correct them. Okay. It's going to be like 10-hour sessions. It's going to be $300. Are you interested? It's valuable, right? I think it's valuable. I think a lot of the program directors will think that is valuable. I want my intern to have that. But you probably will not feel that as valuable, because what you're looking for is match. I would probably get that. It's valuable, sounds good, Dr. Haryadi, but I don't think I need that right now. I need to match. And that's the reason why you're watching this video. Hopefully you're still watching now. Okay, so let's do the other one. The other one would be, I'm going to help you to edit your ERAS CV, your personal statement, your interview. We're going to find out the programs that you're applying to, which program that's fit you the most, and we're going to try to change and then personalize those personal statement, the ERAS, and your interview answers, so it will fit into the program, and so the program will see you as the ideal candidate. Have no doubt about it. We're going to do a 10-hour sessions one-on-one with me, and it's going to be $300. How's that sound? Cool, right? Now you're interested. By the way, I don't have that offer. I don't have that offer. I have a different offer than that one. But you can see now that one thing that I see or other people see as valuable might not be as valuable for you, at least not that moment. And then what you see, yet which a lot of people don't feel that it's valuable, it's going to be sounds valuable for you. So that is what selling is all about. If you want to be successful on kind of like selling yourself, right? You want to try to look for what they want, and you want to give the answer that they want, not the answer that you want, because you're doing strategy number one. You try to adapt and compromise and mold into the programs so they can see you as an ideal candidate. Does that make sense? Now, you understand that, and I think that makes sense. Let's talk about what are the practical things that you can do when you understand the concept of program fit. I'm just going to give you 3 things, because there's a lot of ways you can do this, but I just want to give you some practical things that you can do and then show the fact that you're applying this concept of program fit. Number 1 is geographical preference. Yeah, that's one simple practical tips. Set up your geographical preference. Don't set up as a no. If you set up no geographical preference, then you kind of like you're good to go anywhere. But that would decrease the chance of matching, because you don't consider the concept of the program fit into the program. Because the program, what they're looking for is the people that are interested to live in that area, right? So if you don't have preference, it's you're trying to find a program that serves your needs. So if you're very competitive applicant, go ahead. You don't have to set the program geographical preference. But if you are not really competitive applicant like me, right, like a lot of my students, then you want to set up the geographical preference. That's as simple as that. The second thing is tailor your personal statement. Yes. Do you know that you can make a different personal statement for a different program? There you go. So you can try to make a personal statement that speak directly to that particular program, as long as you know what's the program's value, right? So that's also another way to how you can apply the concept of program fit and increase the chance of matching. The third one, obviously, in order to do number two, right, you need to research the program. And there are multiple ways to research the program, right? Talk to the residents, right? Find out who are the residents in there and then try to connect with them through LinkedIn or Doximity or social media, right? And then talk to them, well, what's the program like? What's their curriculum? What do they value? Go to the program's website. Find out some of the news about the programs. What are the things that are actually happening recently? So you got the idea of their missions and their goals. And so many things that you can do to try to find out more about the programs. And then so you can set up both the personal statement and the preparation for the interview. So that's pretty much it. We talk about what is program fit, when we apply those strategies, what are those two strategies, why program fit, and how we apply the program fit to increase the chance of matching. That's the video for today. Now, I would like you to share and comment down below if if there's any aha moment where this becomes a light bulb for you. I would love to hear that. You can share that in the comment. And I hope you enjoyed the video, find the video is helpful. I'll see you again in the next video for more residency and matching tips.